Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Spottier stream. We have some incredible action for you all tonight. A best of 7, and joining me for the first time in stream's history, the wonderful Anthony Malum. How you doing, Anthony?
Oh, the wonderful. I'll definitely take that. Thank you, Sporty. Yeah, I'm excited. First time on here, and it looks like it's an exciting matchup. You were giving me the lore dump of the teams, and it makes me even more excited to watch this show match. I feel like we're in for what could be a lot of interesting ways of going about getting the best types of practice and work in, and I think that'll set us up for an exciting night.
Yeah, Rocket League as an esport is different than a lot of esports in how teams do practice. Usually it's behind closed doors. Usually it's hidden. Usually nobody even knows much about it. You may be able to track them like on, ballchasing.com where you get those replays, but other than that, you don't really get to see them firsthand. You don't really get to see them up close and personal. But we get the privilege of seeing that a best of 7 show match here for both of these teams are Skyward Series All-Star teams, so C3, GC1. It's Team Yeah, who we've seen on the stream so many times, and Swordfish Pacific, a team that was dominant last season in the Skyward Series Challenger League.
Yeah, always love to see when it's an army against three people. I mean, it's essentially 300 tonight for this show match, and the Swordfish Pacific, they're going to be in a position where at least they're practicing with a lower amount. They can kind of get things through, and for their show match, they kind of know what they're getting in for. But for it's going to be the rotations in and out of different people and mixing it up, and it will be difficult for the Swordfish to adjust to.
Yeah, it will be really interesting for this Swordfish esport side, but again, these teams never played each other last season in Skyward Series. They had avoided each other all season long, but I would have loved it if we saw them because at the end of that season, both of them had easily qualified into the All-Star League, with Swordfish Pacific being considered the strongest team out of the regular season, and yeah, being number 4 out of about 20 or so teams. I think it's a little over 20 teams in that league. Obviously now both in All-Star, and yeah, had a complete roster swap. The only player sticking around from last season was Masha Potatoes, who's now the team captain, with her new roster, 86, Sonoda, Poop Soup, Tredsky, and Coach Pyros. We've seen Sonoda, Poop Soup, and Tredsky on this stream before, and we've even seen 86 as that coach for this team in the Ascension Cup of the Ascend Tournament Series, where they're currently 2-0 with 2 really good starts, 2 strong. I think it's a 6-1 record right now in games, not in 2-0 in series. In the All-Star League for Skyward, very similar. They started off their season 1-0. I believe it might have been a sweep as well. But yeah, for Swordfish Pacific, well, they would have liked it if they could have said the same thing, but they lost in a game 5 in week 1, so they're currently 0-1. Again, keeping the same roster from last season for the most part, only adding in Papaya. This roster, they got a lot to prove, and kind of the movement from Challenger up to All-Star is really tough to make.
It's always tough to jump up skill brackets, especially in competitive settings. And one thing that can help is at certain times, enough experience can kind of carry you through when you start to make that jump in terms of rank and skill and the level of competition you're facing. And I feel like that will help them here, but it's still it's easy to talk about it and easy to kind of predict how it might go until you actually can see them face that upgraded competition.
Yeah, and this will be, again, a really good way for them to do it. Again, that first round, that first week was against, what was it called? Souls? I think it was Team Soul. What were they called? It was, I'm in the wrong bracket completely. Let me find the right bracket. They're against Soul Thieves, which was a team that played in All-Star last season, and they were a middle tier, kind of weaker team. They didn't make it to, I don't think they made it very far into the wild card of the playoffs, so again, not a great season for them. So this is not a great start for Swordfish. Again, they're looking to get as much practice as possible for a roster that's staying with 2/3 of the original 5 players on that roster last season. Only adding in Papaya. They've got a lot to prove. It's a roster that already has struggles with their mechanical ability against so many of these really high-ranked players, a lot of these really tough GC1 level teams, and teams that are also scrimming very, very often. They're just trying to make sure they catch up at the end of the season, because for them, being an all-star is a real kind of a real slap in the face for them, because this competition only gets tougher.
One thing that'll be good about that, though, for a show match and getting that work in, and like you said, needing to work on the core mechanics, is if a game starts to get away, it doesn't have to affect the mental the same type of way. You can kind of face tank through it and still work on those mechanics and on those little things, which really isn't the type of option that you would get more normally if it was a real game where you're getting frustrated, you're getting the tilt, and you're starting to let it affect how you play. So that's a big uplift with it being a show match that I expect to help them work on that stuff.
Yes, again, you've already actually got info from Swordfish Pacific. They're already in the lobby. We're just waiting on Team Yeah. Again, we'll see which of the players are going to be playing this first game because, yeah, even this new roster of, yeah, like the old roster of, yeah, had a history of subbing in players during their matches in their seasons. This is a scrim, so it's even more likely they're just going to trade players in, see what works, because at this point, for scrims like this is a good time just to learn stuff. I know, again, yeah, I remember chatting with them beforehand, getting a coaching review from AT6, who, again, is the coach of this team in the Ascend Tournament Series, Ascension Cup, so he has coaching experience, and again, he's giving them some little tidbits, and now he's going to be able to play with them in a matchup as well, and we'll see how things work for them, because, yeah, again, they're getting a little coaching. It's a team that still is struggling on kind of finding those rotations, finding those kind of, perfect plays that can work together. It's still a team that's new, trying to work together, but fortunately for them, it's better than most rosters. Most rosters struggle in the situation because most rosters are in a position where they are completely new to each other. These people are friends, though, so they're still trying to get used to each other, but it's better than most teams in that sense. And they are, again, I'm seeing kind of over time, this team really improve in those rotations and in those aggression plays.
And what's going to be nice, too, for them is because it's a show match and they already anticipate rotating out, and I understand they do that regardless, but it being a show match, they can rotate in certain ways. If you see somebody's playing way more just kind of sitting in the net and sitting back while somebody's playing the shooter angle consistently, non-stop even, then you can start to mix up stuff and see, okay, well, what happens if I get this shooter with this team that's way more interested in the defensive angles of it? And I think for them, it'll really put them in a position that where Yak can truly study what they've got going on, and then not just in the now, but they can look back on it going forward and say, all right, well, what worked here, what didn't work here, and with our actual games coming up, how can we implement the best of the best, essentially?
And I like how you mentioned with their actual games coming up, because again, for these teams, their next matches for the Skyward Series, for Swordfish specific, they got to play Adrenaline Dropouts. That's a team that was also really strong in January last season. That's a team that's been around for at least 6 months together. This is a roster who just knows each other super well. I'm not surprised to see them playing that well for, their next matchup. It's not easy either. They got to play against Silent Reaper. That's a newer team in Skyward Series, but again, it's a team that itself, I believe, has started off decently well. Could be wrong. Gotta find them. Yeah, it's a team that started off 1-0 as well in there and beating another team in their group. That team being FFV Akatsuki, which is a team I do know, and that's a pretty good team as well. So we'll see kind of how. Again, they have a lot to prove here, and for all these teams, they want to be in good positions. As Hello, Jet, Galaxy Wolf, Papaya, how are you all doing? Yeah, we'll get this series started in just a minute or two as soon as you join in again. It's me here with, again, the lovely Anthony Malum, who, if you guys haven't seen Rocket League Splash Series, how dare you? You should go watch some of it, because that's where Anthony has worked most recently, and again, I'm sure they'll be excited. I'm sure you're excited to see some kind of pseudo Skyward Series action.
Yeah, I'm always excited to kind of explore these new leagues and the new teams. Every time I get to see a new one, it's always exciting for me because they're all bringing different things and they've all acted different. And as you're learning a new game like that and you're getting used to a new competitive scene, getting to see everything from the lower end of competitive up to the highest end you can possibly get to, it just offers such a variety in what you can enjoy and get out of watching the new game.
Yeah, that's what I think. So many people, they talk about how they want to see that higher level stuff, the highest level, the premier division of the Skyward Series, which is GC2+. But for me, at least, what I've seen the most exciting action is around GC1. Because it's where it's like, teams are really good, but they're also really close to the other rank. Because the thing about the higher rank stuff is, there's more kind of a split, there's more of a break in between the ranks, there's more of an MMR difference. Right. At this level, around GC1, it's kind of a nice balance. And again, I'm happy to see that, as we are getting a message here from, they are just taking a little bit of extra time. Again, not an issue. We're not in any rush. It's the only match tonight anyways. So, again, what a match is, speaking of it, here they are. They've just joined in. So, let's get ourselves into the matchup here. Here, Anthony Malum, because, again, what a series. This will be a fun little best of 7. Again, I told you, these are two teams that won't be playing each other this season in Skyward. That's why they're scrimming after all, but again, it's a fun little match anyways. This is a good challenge, especially for Swordfish Pacific, going up against a team that they recognize, but a team that has really elevated to the all-star level. Pacific hasn't done that as well. There'll be a lot of pressure on them to make that happen, as, again, just trying to get things sorted out. Let's get ourselves into this matchup. Anthony Malum, on the blue, Swordfish Pacific on the orange. It's a best of 7 here. And here we go, two teams of similar skill levels, and already a goal goes in for Papaya. 2 seconds in. Well, that's a quick start for Swordfish.
Oh, see, that's a shot I could make. I can get behind.
Oh dear, I don't know what happened to Poop Soup there, but you can tell he's maybe a bit cold.
Honestly, sub me in.
I know he was like, they were doing some replay views beforehand, and I have a feeling they probably didn't review the Review kickoffs, so that's on AT6, I think, on that one for not reviewing the kickoffs. How dare he is. No, it's just a mistake from, they're a little miss off the kickoff, and I'm sure for them, they're just laughing about it. Again, it's a team of friends. There's no pressure on them. Every goal doesn't really matter. If they win, they lose, they don't really care. They're just getting practice. And especially with how aggressive Swordfish Pacific can be, and how willing they are to play that style, there's going to be a good chance for, who are more defensive overall.
With being really defensive, that means that's something we want to see, and already clearing it out, but getting a little bit off there around midfield, but they do regain control, get it back to that Swordfish side, but it doesn't last for long because Uncle Ben already sending it back down, and Poop Soup's got to rush back to it. Uncle Ben getting a demo while he's over there just for the fun side of things.
Yeah, might as well get mixing some demos. Again, that's one of the ways you beat, is through demos. Now, Masha isn't playing right now, but when she does, that you're going to see a lot of players like to go and demo her because she sits in the nets a lot. And, well, speaking of, there's Poop Soup getting bumped into, Swordfish Pacific. I mean, that's one thing that kind of every rank can understand is the importance of a demo play and the importance of going after other people. Pacific have started to mix in some of that aggressive plays as here comes, miss from ET6, and Boog will send it away as Poop Soup's actually overcommitted. Nobody's back, and Swordfish Pacific will make it too. Are off to a slow start, and Swordfish Pacific are off to the races.
Wow, Boog with just a perfect shot really across and just finding the perfect timing. I was going to start pointing out how Uncle Ben has kind of been all over the map at all times, it feels, and really taking advantage of that, but Boog ends up being the one to truly take advantage of the state of the pitch. And getting it through like that, not the easiest shot, but when you find an open net that way, being able to take advantage, that's something really massive to look at for Swordfish.
Here comes, up again, still looking for their first goal of this game. We haven't seen 86 before, and I'm going to be very honest, I don't think this is what 86 was expecting, because he is considered the highest ranked player on this team, and, well, he hasn't had a very good start for it. He's been playing a lot of defense, and he's been sitting back a lot. Overall has been sitting back a lot as... Again, Swordfish Pacific willing to put on the aggression. Trutsky almost got bumped out. He will still get that clear, but still can just fall in the midfield right to Swordfish Pacific's hands, and they're looking for another chance. Pass across. Uncle Ben, that's gone in, and it's 3 for Pacific. This team is just connecting perfectly.
What was really interesting for me to look at was for the positioning of Poop Soup kept setting up to be able to send it back across the pitch and was in really good spots. But the problem was, no matter how good of a spot Poop Soup was in, couldn't get it cleared away for that to matter. It was just nonstop shooting from Swordfish, and they were able to take advantage of a 2v3, essentially, because it was all about centering. 86 with a nice block there. Poop Soup going to try to be the one to clear it away. And Trutsky will end up having the most chance with it cornered, but it gets stuck at midfield. Maybe Poop Soup this time can make up for that positioning, Sporty, but no, not that time.
Nope, it's going to be another one for Pacific, because that's a big miss from Boog, but all unclear. And right now, what their big issue is, they're just hitting the ball way too far away from them. This is a team that isn't getting any control, and it's really because of themselves not trying to use it. It's a lot of solo efforts, it's a lot of clearing the ball down the field. I want to see, hold the ball closer and look for each other. Passing field from Poop Soup, saved away. Papaya now almost got bumped out, but he put a little brake check on. Now he's found Boog. That one is saved by 86 as, again, just not able to keep up as Uncle Ben one-on-one. There's another save, really struggling just to get the ball out of their half, because, again, Pacific, the one thing that's changing, the only thing that's making them play so well is the fact that they are relying on each other for the plays, not on themselves.
So far, both possession and field domination are both just absolutely skyrocketing orange. And Swordfish have shown why. Like you said, every time it feels like, it gets on offense, they get taken back and instantly sent to defense. And maybe this time could be the time to change it, but AT6 going to send it right into the waiting arms of Papaya. Book, maybe with a chance to send it back across, but not going to work out. Now Trutsky will try to get there, but Uncle Ben takes the shot. Poop Soup will have control, but it just, again, Sporty, just cannot get themselves off of defense. They live on their own side of the pitch.
Hey, might want to set up shop, might want to start filing for a job and start getting your credit report ready, because you're gonna have to get a house there, and that's not cheap at any cost. And we're already seeing it. It's already costing them 3 goals. It may cost them more as we're getting into the final minute here of game 1. Papaya midfield. 86 has it, looking for the dribble, and he's just got bumped again. Swordfish Pacific. I mean, if they can't win the ball in 50s, they're just gonna remove you so that they don't even have to 50.
86 now looking for something at midfield, but can't quite find it. Again, I mean, we'll say it a million more times so far in game number 1. They just cannot get the ball off of their own side of the pitch, and it's just constant shots coming out from Swordfish. And now with Papaya getting a demo on Poop Soup, that might not help. But AT6 has control, brings it to midfield, only for Boog to be waiting. Maybe Poop Soup will be the one to have an effort. Only 30 seconds remain for Ya to take their first real chance to the goal, and the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer here in Game 1.
Yeah, and for you can see they're maybe starting to get desperate. I mean, you can't really notice it because they haven't really gotten offense, even in their desperation. You can definitely tell that this team just not off to the great start. It's a team that maybe didn't have time to warm up before this and haven't had the time to really work together. This is, I would assume this is a roster they haven't played yet because you can tell there's a lot of rotational issues here with 86 Poop Soup and Trutsky on the same side of the field. And in fact, it's going to be Pacific who almost got a fourth, but it will hit the ground. And they've taken game 1 in this series. Reminder, it's a best of 7, so 4 wins to essentially win this show match. But for I would be surprised if they don't make some adjustments, whether it be in the playstyle or more rather if it's good, more likely if it's going to be in the players themselves.
Yeah, definitely some adjustments can be made, and a lot of it can honestly be as simple as figuring out a way to get more comfortable leaving your side of the pitch and playing the ball as aggressive as you possibly can, which, just did not seem to have too big of an interest in Sporty.
Yeah, it's surprising because, again, they don't even have their most defensive player on their roster in Masha Potatoes, but the thing about Masha that is really interesting about her playstyle is that, again, she's the most defensive. She's going to sit back a lot. You're going to notice that. She will sit back very far on defense and even very far back, even on offense. But her whole deal is that she holds the midfield really well. This, at least first game roster of couldn't do that. We'll see what they do. And will they make any adjustments? Budsky's in. AG6 is in. Who's going to join with them? For, again, what will be our second game of the series. It will be Sonoda. So they are putting in Sonoda for Poop Soup, and I mentioned beforehand, and I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but Sonoda is a pretty scary player to play against. He could definitely bring some aggression that, desperately need.
Yeah, you did definitely talk about Sonoda being the aggressive type, being a shooter type, and that might be exactly the thing need to change the momentum and change the vibe of the overall playstyle they had already. AT6 brings it aggressively to the corner of Swordfish. Maybe there'll be something there on the quick run, but Uncle Ben there again, but here comes Sonoda doing the Sonoda thing you're talking about. Sonoda brings it all the way to the net, almost gets it in, but Trutsky could not find the perfect spot to get it in off of what was sort of a, we'll say unusual center, but it worked out perfect regardless. Still aggressive, looking for more, but Swordfish finally getting some control to clear it away.
What was unusual about that center you mentioned was that Sonoda was looking for a bump on that last defender. He ran ahead of the ball there, trying to get just a little bit of chaos in front of that net, but again, trying to maybe do what Pacific have done pretty well is, well, now Sonoda's just missed it. Papaya, that could have gone in, and Swordfish Pacific, I mean, they got to look at that net there. They didn't expect as Boog center play. 86 with a big clear, and again, really already relying on Sonoda to get them some offense, to get them some solo plays, to get them some chances on net, and I would not be surprised if Sonoda at least gets one goal, but here comes a play on. That's saved by Sonoda off the post. Yeah, keep it out. Somehow this game stays tied.
That was, I mean, even if it was a little lucky, that was really impressive from to keep it 0-0. I thought for sure it was just going to roll that little bit extra in, but nope, not at all. Still tied up, but Papaya comes right back with another shot. It does the same thing, but he's there to follow it up and get it in to make it 1-0.
Here comes Pacific, and I told you this is an aggressive team, and once they're feeling confident, you cannot slow them down. Papaya almost saw the same thing happen again, but this time he will get a follow-up chance, and it will go in. Swordfish Pacific lead by 1, and still have not found their first goal of the series just yet.
But so far, things are looking better for that's impossible to deny, but Papaya just makes it look so clean, Sporty. Already 2-0, just kind of caught sleeping at the gate.
And that was some bad timing there, Anthony. As soon as you start commenting, Swordfish.
I know, it's the caster's curse, man.
Yeah, man. I think, I think we've now learned here that I don't think we can speak at all this series because Swordfish Pacific are listening in at least.
Oh, I've got some of the worst
in
caster
spirit.
Curses.
Oh no, definitely. At least it's a show match. As here comes a play in front, Trutsky, and that shot needed more power. Trutsky hit it with his purse, I think, because I didn't see that ball go very far away from him, and. Yeah, I mean, that was a great chance for them. I found an opening. It was literally a 3v1. Trutsky just needed to put more power behind it. And it could have been, at least with one. Because right now, Swordfish Pacific, it's 5 goals straight in these last 2 games. And in fact, oh no. You guys alright?
Alright.
Did the server break on us? The server broke on us, didn't it? I was wondering if it was just me or... No, I think the server just broke on us. Oh, dear.
Goodness gracious.
Well, Disconnect. Yes, we did. Did you guys disconnect too, Papaya? I think they might have all disconnected. If that's what happens, we will restart game 2. Papaya and Chad, did you guys all disconnect? Oh, they did. Oh, I think they did. Yep, okay, they said that they did get disconnect, so let's remake the lobby. We're gonna restart game 2. The servers want to win as well, don't they?
Yeah, apparently so. The
Server's like, no, we need another game
The server
here.
curse was worse than the caster curse, I guess.
I thought for a second maybe my internet went out on me, and I was like, that doesn't happen often. No, it's just the servers broke down on us. At least it's, again, during a scrim and not during an actual matchup, because that would have been rough. But we'll restart game 2 here and get these teams back in. Same lobby info for all of them. Let me make sure we get them in. I haven't had that happen to me in a while.
Maybe I am cursed.
Yeah, maybe you are cursed. Maybe. We're just gonna reset game 2, Papaya, just because I don't want to have it where you guys score twice and we just have to wait 2 minutes. So, and besides, it's a scrim. It's a scrimmage. It's a show match. It doesn't really matter too much. We'll just restart game 2 here, and we'll get these teams back in again. Apologies on that. Again, I thought for a second my internet went out on me, but thankfully it did not. My internet's pretty strong, so that doesn't happen. That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
But we'll restart game 2 here and get these teams back in here for this continuation of this best 7. Sorry about that, everybody. As Poop Soup saying, calling Epic a small indie company. All right then. All right then. Again, we're gonna go into game 2 here, and yeah, I mean that does happen. We'll see it maybe this kind of new game can allow them to actually get a second goal, or if that doesn't happen, because Swordfish Pacific, it might slow them down a little bit, but this team's still running with some incredible strong momentum.
What I'll be looking at again is what was happening significantly previously was that it was kind of the same thing I talked about with Poop Soup, where Sonoda was just hanging out center, looking for shots consistently, but the kind of lack of aggression from the other 2 members left Sonoda doing more harm than good because the defense got lackluster. So maybe this will be the change, and maybe this will be something to turn things around, but already with the demo from Boog, was looking to make it less possible to do it. Now Papaya tries to lead it through, can't quite find it, gets sent back out, but Uncle Ben beating AT6.
And you can see, yeah, already, maybe they chatted a little bit beforehand, or maybe they didn't, because, maybe they really didn't, because they just overcommitted again.
Wow.
It's going to be Sonoda who pushed up too high. He's confident as a player, but that is, well, I mean, I can't even blame him for that. That's not a very good touch from Trudsky, and it's Uncle Ben who catches the defense kind of lackluster. That is a terrible goal to give up, everyone, yeah.
Yeah, that one's definitely tough, and definitely needs some lock-in and some focus up from It's kind of tough, too, certainly in games like this where the shots just keep ringing in, just like that one from Papaya, making it 2-0 times 2. This time, they did a bit faster, though. 4 minutes and 6 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think after game, like how last game 2 went for them, they'd be a little bit sad, but obviously that's done the exact opposite for them. They're just going to do it again and better and stronger, and yeah, again, still struggling just to get offenses. Oh, look at this! We got a double fake! Here comes Papaya, looking for that one. It's gonna be goal 3! Wow. I've never seen that before! A patented double fake! Nobody wanted the ball! Swordfish Pacific will be first to it, and Papaya will put it off the bar and in.
I mean, that was gorgeous. I want to hold up a score like it was ice skating. That was beautiful. Absolute spectacular performance.
Only in show matches like this do we get to see that happen. Only in show matches like this are teams willing to do that.
That was awesome, but it continues right out the gate already. Some more aggression from Swordfish, but yeah, trying to turn it around, not let the same thing happen. Sonoda trying to be the playmaker and look if he can set up for somebody, but there's nothing to set up for. Already sent back and already on goal. Almost in, but Sonoda doing everything, goes to the back and gets the save off. The aggression will continue from Swordfish.
Yeah, and this again, the Swordfish side, it's a pretty big org, and Pacific's one of the teams that is pretty recognizable just based on who plays for them. Again, Boog, Uncle Ben, recognizable players. As here comes Strutsky, almost trying to get through Uncle Ben, but here comes Boog. He's looking for the solo effort. What does he have in store? Maybe he's going to keep the dribble. He's gone wide of the net. And yeah, we'll be very thankful. They were not expecting that from Boog. I told you, so Pacific, not known for the mechanics, but Boog, maybe trying to make me eat my words a little bit, because here he comes with an air dribble that was almost absolutely perfect.
It really was, and while it was starting to look better at the beginning of before the remake, the field domination and possession are just looking the same as they've looked so far for Swordfish. Complete domination sitting at 60% for both, and it's how they've been. It's how they're playing, and it's turning into goals, which is even the better part if you're a Swordfish fan. It's that all this control, all this possession is actually turning into something you can see on the scoreboard. Because a lot of times, Sporty, we see teams that get that, but they can't make the goals happen off of it.
Yeah, and they're still just looking for some chances. I don't think they have that many shots, do they, Anthony Malum? I can't check, but I know you can. How many shots does he have? Wait, hold on, not that actually. Sonoda's gonna score here. It's an open net, and it's been 6 goals in a row for Swordfish Pacific. Yeah, we'll finally get their first, but it comes from an overcommit from Papaya, Sonoda. And I'm not surprised it's Sonoda, of all people, who's going, being the most aggressive player on this current roster. And, well, it's a goal for, a goal that was a long time coming, and maybe it's a beacon that maybe things are improving for them.
1 goal, 2 shots for Sonoda, and to answer your question as quickly as I possibly can, for the side of Swordfish, they've got, so far, they've got 4 shots and 3 goals, so they'll definitely take that. And it kind of lines up with what we're seeing.
And it's not been that strong for them. For Swordfish Pacific, really make their chances count. And one of the things about them that actually makes them quite a scary roster is that when they do get chances, they don't generally make them go to waste. They usually use them quite well. That was an issue that they've had before. They've had issues with that shooting. They've had issues with that accuracy. And a lot of it comes down to their star strikers, like Sonoda, like 86. If they're not shooting well, this team generally starts to slow down, generally starts to sit back further on defense, and just cannot get a lead. Swordfish Pacific, they're kind of an exact opposite team. They have no issues pushing upfield, but it does sometimes leave them a bit vulnerable in the backfield as 86 with the dribble, get off the corner. Uncle Ben's going to be awkward because Trotsky's going to challenge, but it will be saved anyway. Swordfish Pacific keeping the ball, but not for long. Continuing to get chances. Sonoda infield. Boog will have the clear, but trying to string together some plays upfield. They haven't been able to get that second goal. They haven't really been able to get anybody other than Sonoda on that net.
They have not, and Trotsky also has spent the majority of this game in defense and not in offense, but at the same time, all the saves, all the bumps, they're coming from Sonoda and 86. Oh, I thought maybe for a second that might go, but Boog catches it. 86 continues the aggression, but Uncle Ben's going to look for the clear out. We'll see if Trotsky can find the offense this time. Leads it through, but not going to be able to follow through. Maybe Sonoda will be the answer for now 45 seconds remain, and they're still looking for goal number 2.
They are, and again, this is a really good challenge for them because Pacific are a team that generally don't get fearful playing against other teams. They're generally always a very confident team that has no problem pushing up for offense, knowing that even though they may not win on the aggression, they can still push in as high as they can and get their chances. And right now, that's a playstyle that they are really struggling with because, again, it's just the confidence from Swordfish Pacific is the difference makers. 86 in front. Here comes Sonoda, and Papaya's got the block. Had a chance in front, but it's Papaya who stands in the way, and Swordfish Pacific, consistent on defense, consistent on offense. This is a team that just looking so much stronger at this point. For that offense, as I've said before, can be the issue for them. It's definitely the issue right now in this matchup.
Yeah, it just was a lot of disconnect, Sporty. Everything, if you look through for them, it just kind of feels like a lot of stuff was sort of disjointed, I guess is the best way to put it.
I mean, that's one way you could put it. Again, if you feel that, aren't rotating well, aren't really utilizing each other. For something specific, they do it, and it's because they have to. For just individually, these players aren't very high ranked. Again, they're the C3 level, but together, this is a solid roster in Pacific, and starting to realize that, hey, this is a playstyle that they're really struggling against, and there's a lot of teams that play this confidently. So there's a lot of teams that do it, and they might even do it better than how Pacific is doing it. So you got to be really, really careful playing against them.
Yeah, the biggest thing I'm looking to change is if you're going to have somebody kind of be your defender, then they need to be the one defending. You can't have your shooter also being top for saves and bumps and shots and goals. You can't have one person doing everything, because if one person's doing everything that's showing on the stat line, that means everyone's doing something that isn't as well, which means everyone's playing independently. And Swordfish's strength has been the synergy so far, and we're just not getting enough synergy out of with kickoff going. We'll hope they turn it around. Papaya instantly with a demo, and a shot goes towards the net of Swordfish, but they're able to catch it in time. No goal so far. And speaking of goals, Masha looking to turn things around, gets in herself.
We were waiting for the team captain to make her appearance, and oh, here's her appearance. She just got absolutely pooped on by Boog.
Yeah, it did happen to kind of fly over her head, but it happened right off the gate and just kind of had the momentum coming out from Swordfish, which has been the name of their game so far. They really like these early kickoffs, getting aggressive off of it, and need to find a way to respond, because that's a common theme we've been seeing lately in competitive, kind of to an insane extent.
I never thought I'd ever come to a day where I'd ever say someone got pooped on, but here we go. That's a first for me. Welcome to my stream whenever the matches are like this. It's something
40
else.
after dark, huh?
Oh, trust me. Trust me. I could say a lot worse stuff in these matches, but again, what a start there. That's just a great ceiling shot from Pacific. So fast, so consistent, and again, Masha, who is more defensive, having to keep this thing out, but there's not much you can really do there. A miss on the back wall from 86, and it's now Uncle Ben who put in one. Swordfish Pacific. I mean, you think that last game was incredible. They've only just gone and one-upped themselves. It's even stronger here.
That was such an impressive shot from Uncle Ben, and a bit unlucky for Masha, who had just barely had too much speed to be able to kind of catch the back end of that and stop it from going in, but like you said, that was definitely a bit of a rough start from AT6 to the beginning of what ended up being that goal. A shot instantly comes out. Sonoda's there, ready to stop it. Now Papaya tries to make a play happen, but that does help keep it midfield. We'll see if we get to see some shooting from Masha, but she gets bumped by AT6.
Yeah, Masha, 86. I feel like they're both trying to play the same role, where they're holding the midfield. I want to see 86 push up. I know he can be a really strong overall player, but I'm surprised that he hasn't pushed up higher, especially with Masha behind him. Masha's such a strong defensive player. At 86 and do things as that's gonna fall in for 86. It wasn't what he was expecting. It wasn't really what he wanted, but he'll take it nonetheless. Say impromptu, maybe a uncharacteristic mistake from 86, but Uncle Ben bit on the shots, and that's gonna fall through for yeah.
Hey, you'll take what you can get if you're AT6, and what's wild to me is getting a goal in when you've been on offense for 13% of the game is honestly kind of impressive the way it worked out, and that does set up, for now the shooters to start doing the shooting. AT6 off the bat, though, finds another one and ties us up at 2-2. AT6 was looking for something, and maybe he found it.
Well, 86 obviously heard me, because as soon as I say he needs to push up and play more aggressively with Masha behind him, he goes on and just scores 2 goals, one after the other. Yeah, you know, that I guess for me, for you curse teams and I bless them. So I guess I'm the angel, you're the devil here.
Yeah,
we'll talk about this afterwards. It's Papaya going for it, and that's gonna fall through. It's another off the kickoff, but this one will go on the way of Pacific.
Another clean goal from Papaya. That's kind of been the strategy so far for Swordfish. Is you got Uncle Ben, who kind of makes the more improv related shots and kind of out of nowhere, while Papaya leads it through the pitch. And honestly, I feel like Papaya's gone coast to coast more than we're used to seeing. It's been impressive. Now Boog sending one over that way, and gonna be a bit late to it. So Boog gonna set up nicely for Papaya, but luckily sent out by Sonoda. But we're not done yet. Uncle Ben getting fancy again.
Yeah, but this one's gonna fall away. A pinch from Papaya, and for The question is not on how much offense they can get. We know they can bring offense. Now that 86 and Sonoda are feeling more confident in doing so. But are they going to rotate around each other well? We've seen a lot of issues where 86 is getting caught up with his teammates in multiple various positions where he's double committing with them. And he needs to tread carefully, because Masha and Sonoda have played together in a lot of matches in the past, and 86 he's struggling to keep around with it. I don't know if maybe the communication's falling apart for this team, or if 86 just isn't used to the playstyle of these players, but there's a lot of double commits from him, and that's starting to become a real worry for because here's another one, and that's open for Boog. 86, 2 in a row, he's jumping for the ball when he has no reason to do so, and Swordfish Pacific have an open net because of it.
Yeah, that's really rough. A clean save from Masha, and the net, like you said, was just left open unnecessarily. And, I don't want to harp too much, so one thing that kind of could be happening that I'm seeing is I think AT6 might be trying to do a bit too much, because the first games were a bit rough from AT6, and now with Masha in, Sonoda in, and you never want to be the reason something's not going well. So we might be seeing AT6 just forcing it a bit too much. That's sort of making the bigger plays happen, but leaving those smaller mechanics open for mistakes.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. That happens a lot with higher-ranked players at this level, where they think they can take over a series that just doesn't happen. The best teams are not the ones where they have the player who just does everything. It's the teams that have the team that can do everything.
Very true.
Maybe not the individual players, as here comes 86, looking for a chance, but he's ran out of time to get this flip. Now Papaya. Oh, and he's just gonna beat there. That was left open. Wow. Masha pushed up. Nobody was back for Swordfish Pacific. Papaya with an impressive outplay, and Masha was completely fooled.
And with that play, with Uncle Ben setting up towards the latter half of that play, everybody on Swordfish is way up above 30 touches with Boog getting close to 40 touches. But when you look over, if you look at 86, or excuse me, Masha has just passed 20. 86 having the most, but just over 30. So overall, Sporty, it's just been a case of they can't get the ball off their side of the field. They can barely hold on to the ball. They can barely touch it by itself. A couple of times, they've been able to get some nice shots, but when you look at the actual depth behind it, they're left a bit empty-handed.
Oh dear, 86 just missed. Oh no, 86. Man, 86 is having a horrible day.
I totally
He just
blinked,
missed an open net twice in a row. That is, that was a bad miss as well. It hurts. It hurts a lot. I know a lot of people out there have just watched that and are just, they feel it. It's like there's a pain instead of every player knowing you just missed that open net. And as if things can't get worse for 86 this game, he goes on and he misses what really should be a goal every single time. And again, this has just been a rough day for 86, a player that a lot of people talked about. As here comes a pass to Masha. Maybe some resurgence here for 86, because that pass was well made. But Masha's shooting, she's not known for shooting that well, but a top right shot. And it's Yahoo are staying alive in this game. 41 seconds, they need 2 goals.
And that was really clean. You said it very well. And for 86, I mean, at this point, I think you just play out this game to the best you can and try to clean up the defense maybe for the remainder. You have had enough good moments to where it's clear there's things to work on, but you're not exactly, I would dead weight all the bad stuff, but that's not fair to say. So just clean up the end of this game and review back in the VOD and look at what you could have done better. It's not the end of the world as long as you don't let it be. It's kind of my main takeaway.
Yeah, and knowing, I'm sure for 86 he's not feeling amazing, but it does happen. I've seen so many players have sometimes as that's open, and oh dear, 86. Well, we were just talking his praises, and that's another open net miss for him. Man, I feel bad for him at this point. I mean, it feels like nothing will go his way. 86 has had a rough game here. Swordfish Pacific now, they might just sweep at this point. I mean, that's how dominant they look, and that's how much stronger they are. Then they're just looking like the better team by a long shot.
Yeah, definitely a tough end there for 86, but like we said, there's certainly a lot of things that 86 will be able to look back on and improve from the VOD, and I'm sure there's going to be more than some advice coming through on how things can be improved coming from 86's teammates. And there are some things we can look at and say that they were getting cleaned up. We saw a lot better offense come out from when they did have it. We saw better defense when the net wasn't left empty. There just unfortunately was way too much time where the net was just completely left alone, and those rotations were too in sync to where they're rotating together and jumping through when somebody's already blocked the ball.
Yeah, and for I'm sure they are, again, starting through. I know they're going to take a good this whole minute just to talk things out. I'm sure this game is a real rough one for them. Probably a good hit on their mental, as well as Swordfish Pacific just continuing to just do what they're doing so well. And that's surprising to me, because Pacific haven't been a super strong team starting off this season. Have been in Skyward Series, and yet Swordfish Pacific is just the better team at this point.
Thankfully, with still some games left to play, there's plenty of time for Yad to try out some new things in this potentially final game, as we are on match point for Swordfish. And I'm curious what they're going to bring out. I'm really keen to see if we're going to see a completely new offense, or what's the look.
Well, here we go. Hoop Soup, Masha, Sonoda as a roster. And this is a roster I have seen before. And I can tell you, this roster, pretty strong, but Uncle Ben's just stronger. 5 seconds, and Swordfish Pacific already have won. The kickoff has been their friend for a lot of this series.
Yeah, kickoff is definitely an aspect that we'll want to review when they review the overarching scheme of how this series has gone. The kickoffs are definitely one that can be looked at. But 1-0 in 5 seconds, it still leaves you plenty of room to come back. That's one positive for Yan. Right off the bat, Masha taking shots, sending it forward. The Boo gonna meet it. Maybe Sonoda will be the one at midfield.
Noda. Again, Masha, a bit hesitant to challenge that, doesn't want to overcommit, so instead it's leave Papaya with a ceiling shot. He's gone for those already, and he's actually even hit one. Pacific continuing to show that confidence as a 50. Papaya won't get it. Now it's Uncle Ben and Pacific just rotating on each other. It's a conveyor belt of plays on offense, and they're just trying to hold on. Here comes Boog, looking for the Doomsday in front, and he's got it! A light touch from Boog, caught dead to rights.
That is tough, Sporty, to have 2 players hanging out in the net and still the ball to just tap in like that. That's tough. That's a tough feeling. And for a while, it looked like it was sort of in between on their rotations. There were 2 moments that I saw where they had 2 players in the net at the same time, and then they kind of did this awkward, "Oh, you go. No, you go." They're trying to get out of the net, and then it was left open for a moment. Then they finally got it together, but by the time they did, there was a shot on net. That's the kind of stuff that, I need to clean up, because that's where their biggest issue is. Because you can never get on offense if you can't clean up your defense.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned it, the rotation, the chemistry, just not better at this point from, this is a team of players who know each other, but obviously Sword Pacific know each other a lot better at this point, as here comes Uncle Ben, looking for maybe a pinch. The net is left open there. Surprised nobody was back as Poop Soup gave it up to Papaya. Yeah, well, actually been a little bit fortunate, I think, on that play to not have him given up a goal, because there was nobody back on that play from Pacific, and surprised Pacific didn't take more of an advantage as Sonoda couldn't get the flick off on the other side of the field. And I mean, they're struggling. They're giving up some open nets here to Pacific, and Pacific, I mean, they're giving up nothing to here.
So far, since that last goal, some of the better rotations that we've seen from that I'm watching, constantly one person hanging back, while the 2 step up, and then when they get too far, somebody heads to midfield. It's been clean for the last bit, but now with offense coming out from Pacific, they got to keep it up. And we're seeing it so far. Poop Soup currently in net. Maybe that'll be the one to get the next save off, but a demo from Uncle Ben on the Sonoda leaves shot potential there. Papaya starts bringing it forward.
And I mean, they're still just, they're trying to attack the corners at this point. Pacific, they're not just removing those chances, they're also removing players, literally, from this field. And I mean, this is, I thought, again, I always think, that game, it must have been the most dominant game from Pacific. Ooh. And then they come out and just one-up themselves the next game over, and just how strong and how well they can hold back. As Sonoda off to the corner, second touch, Uncle Ben's last one back, and well, he'll have a challenge. Oh, that could have gone in. Boog was in the right place. Shocked to see that one not go their way.
Especially because Poop Soup read that really well all the way through, but just got beat out by Boog. Poop Soup has been the person hanging out of midfield the last few attempts on offense for but just has not amounted to much. Now Sonoda does it, but that leaves the net open because Poop Soup is too deep, and Boog will get the score, making it 3-0 Swordfish Pacific.
And you mentioned forcing it, and that's what Sonoda's trying to do there. He's trying to force a challenge. He's forcing himself to get involved when realistically, that's a position he just cannot go for. And for you can see they're starting to get a bit frustrated that they just cannot get things to work for them, and it feels like so many different aspects are where Sword Pacific is leading, and a lot of it is mentality and teamwork, and that is just why Pacific is just playing so well. They have the stronger teamwork, but they also just have the mentality to not force things. Are trying to do that, and that's one of the reasons why they're losing so badly, is that's in front Poop Soup, and that needs to be on target. Another chance, and that one could have been theirs.
Mashed Potatoes looking to make the play happen. Set up well with Sonoda, but Poop Soup finds himself stuck in the net, has to get out. That's going to leave the net open again, should any offense come out from Pacific, and here it comes, Boog, heading towards the net, and what did I say? It's open. That makes it 4-0 Swordfish.
And again, it's forcing things. Poop Soup misses his shot at Masha, and I mentioned about her midfield presence, but that is one of the issues that Masha has with that midfield. She likes to force challenges as well, and especially with things going so badly for they're starting just to force themselves to do that. I get a missed shot, a bad challenge, and for this game has only gotten worse for them.
And while it's only gotten worse in score, one thing I will say to try to find the positives for is while it's 4-0, their offense has been significantly more present. This is the most that they've shown up for both possession and field dominance so far in this series, and by a significant number. Same thing with touches, bumps, shots, everything's trending up. They still can't really get through Swordfish as they go for another shot, but Sonoda going to be there. Now got 2 in net ready for more. So at least there's some positives to be found.
I mean, I'm not surprised, though. This is a roster they have played before. This is a roster that they're very used to. This is a roster I have seen as well from this team, and I know how good this roster is. Masha and Poop Soup both going for the same challenge. At this point, they're just trying anything, seeing if something will work for them, as Papaya missed a chance. Sonoda, he's got the fake on Uncle Ben. He's got enough boost to eventually go for a short solo play. Oh, but Papaya just denies it there with that touch. And now, just looking for something, anything in this game. Anything just to end this series. Sonoda in midfield. But that one, Poop Soup, it's on the line, and it's in. Finally cracked the code of Swordfish Pacific, but is it too late?
It might be too late, but again, if you combine the signs of life, getting that last goal across, with the uptick in everything, in terms of what they've brought to the pitch. It is an overall improvement, and like you said, bringing out your main roster can do that for you. But at least when you do that, they're going to be able to look back and compare the differences directly to the earlier games of this series, and it'll make it a bit easier to figure out what needs to be fixed. Now, with 10 seconds left, it's just time for Swordfish to bring it home.
Yep, they'll just look to keep this one up, maybe even get another goal, trying to end things out, but it's a 4-0 sweep. Pacific brought the offense, brought the confidence, and in only 4 games, they have dismantled this team defense, this team playstyle. Have been one of the strongest teams in the Skyzers All-Star Division now, have a lot to learn because Swordfish Pacific is teaching them a lot about their own playstyle.
Yeah, they definitely have learned a lot from it. It was certainly a tougher time, but like I said a few times, there is a lot that there's a lot they're going to be able to look at and go through from that series and kind of figure out what needs to be worked on, what needs to be done. It's not the end of the world to lose a show match like that. It's not the end of the world to try to look through your VODs and look through the plays and honestly even watch some of the cast and kind of see things from that different perspective of what needs to be worked on.
Again, Swordfish Pacific, a dominant performance, and again, that I did not expect any of that kind of dominance, and yet here they are, showing up, showing out, and taking down, in 4 games. Again, what a night it has been, and, well, again, that's our only match. Sorry that it was so quick and that it wasn't any closer, but Swordfish Pacific showing you why they're that good of a team, and why you should still fear them, even if their record is 0-1 in the Skyward Series. As, again, thank you so much for joining me, Anthony Malum. Before we kind of get our raid going, is there anything you want to say, any shoutouts, any kind of social medias you want to plug in onto this stream?
Yeah, it's Anthony Malum everywhere, the same names you've had on. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun, and thanks to the teams. Yeah, it's unfortunate it wasn't a bit closer, but one of the best things about when games aren't that close, like I said, is there's always room for improvement. That's the best part about it being competitive and it being a bit of a friendlier aspect and environment. There's so much room for improvement, and there's always some way to do it. And honestly, yeah, led by Masha, and from what we were hearing and seeing, I feel like that's the team to do it. So hopefully the rest of their actual season goes better than the show match we saw tonight. And once again, thanks for having me, Sporty.
Of course, and again, thank you all so much for joining this stream again. What a night of action. Thank you all again, and we're going to get a raid going and end off this night. From me, from Anthony Malum, and from the Sporty stream, take everybody, have a great night, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.